Thank you for joining us. Now, the Milkmaid is Nigeria's official submission for the 93rd Academy Awards in the International Feature Film category of the Oscars. Written, produced and directed by Desmond Obiageli. Now, The Milkmaid is a Hausa language-based thriller on insurgency, especially as it affects women and children in sub-Saharan Africa. It was shot on location in Taraba State, northeast Nigeria. Joining me now to talk more about this is Desmond Obiageli, producer, The Milkmaid, and actress Antonietta Kalunta. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you very much for having
us. I must say congratulations and thank you for putting Nigeria there.
Thank you so much.
It's good. Now, I wonder how you feel giving a voice to the challenges that some of the young Nigerians and others in the Northeast have faced, knowing that you do not live there, but you decided to put pen to paper, put a voice to these experiences going on in the North.
Well, thank you. I mean, it's very important for us as filmmakers. We have a responsibility to speak what's going on in our society.
Absolutely.
We have a voice that, as I said, some of those other people don't have.
Yeah.
We have access to platforms, we have educational tools, we have training, we have skills and talent which we harness to actually give voice to the situation. So it was actually something that right from the very beginning we intended to do with this film. We knew what was going on in the country, not just in Nigeria, but also in sub-Saharan Africa.
It was intentional. That is what I'll pick from there.
That's correct. Absolutely intentional.
All right, you now, Antonietta, you are not Hausa when you had to speak that language. Talk to us about what it took, learning the language, and also putting yourself in the shoes, reliving the experiences of young girls in the Northeast.
Well, for one, I do know how to speak Hausa, just like the basic everyday market Hausa. So going on set, I had to learn proper Hausa. So wow. They actually provided language instructor for me, and so I had to learn to speak Hausa and also learn Fulfulde.
Interesting.
Yes, that's the Fulani language. So it was a great experience, learning new words, learning new things, and then reliving the experiences of young girls. I knew Director Desmond had to give me materials. He asked me to read up on some things. And then there were lots of girls, like the Fulani girls. I can remember I had to watch them, mix the fura, because there's a way they do it with so much ease that I had to try to learn so I could do the same thing. So it was a beautiful experience, and I just feel this story is one everyone needs to see.
Absolutely. When I saw the preview of the movie, I could feel, that emotion and everything put into the work, such that you get that feeling of, I was in this place. I was there. I can see how these people felt when everything was happening, talked about insurgency and all of that. Now talk to us about the challenges you faced, trying to shoot this movie, trying to get this work done, because you said you were intentional. And oftentimes when you're intentional about certain things, you meet certain stumbling blocks. And if you don't want to cut corners, to get something like this, it's a whole lot of work.
Well, we wanted to shoot in Taraba State because Taraba State has one of the most beautiful locations in Nigeria, if not the most beautiful. But consonant with it being very beautiful, it is also very difficult to access. We shot in Mandela, which in itself is a 7-hour journey from just the state capital Bingo to Mandela, and we had to transport cars and equipment up there. So logistically, that was a challenge. We also shot during the rainy season in Taraba State, which was another challenge. We have a lot of exterior in this one. And then, of course, we shot in Hausa.
Yes.
Antonietta speak Hausa, I don't.
You don't, yes.
So, having to direct the actors and try and convey what the meaning was for each role and character was a challenge. And, if it was an English-speaking film, probably have taken about half the time.
Mm-hmm.
We're determined to get it absolutely right. I mean, we can't have characters in that set in Quincy. They speak Hausa, they speak fully to a lesser extent for some of the characters as well. Those are some of the challenges we faced in terms of shooting there. And of course, you're shooting in a place like Taraba State, which isn't the most developed filmmaking community there, but they're very enthusiastic, and we got many great.
So what was your relationship with the people like? Because they have to welcome you, they have to show you certain, they understand the terrain better than someone who's just coming in to do a movie. What was the response that you were getting from them?
They were extremely enthusiastic. They were very, very excited. They had never had a production of this magnitude shooting in their state before. So they were so eager to learn and participate in it, So it was a very rewarding experience. Plus, the fact that there are actually a lot of talents in Taraba State, which no one has heard of before. And we're hoping through the film, some people can see that Nigeria has talent.
Excuse me. Talk to us about casting and the crew. What determined your choice of those whom you wanted to see? Because you had a picture of what you wanted to achieve, and so talk to us in that aspect.
Well, the two lead characters were two Fulani sisters, so I needed actresses who looked Fulani. I believe Aisha, Antonetta, I call her Aisha, which is her character's name. I believe she did a great job in that respect. We also had another actress, Miriam, who herself is actually Fulani. So that was also very rewarding. So we wanted to see that, but we also wanted characters who visually fit into the parts wanted to play, whether they were parents or mothers or the insurgents themselves. And we're fortunate to get a very, very specific cast, specific looking cast. You know, we had two auditions in Taraba State, and we got a lot of response. I was able to mine a lot of the talents and resources that were there in terms of cast from the state.
Now, what stand out for you? Because I'm certain that you have featured in other movies. And what's
this is
your
my
first?
baby.
Interesting. So congratulations. Now, what is the experience like for you being the first movie, and how does this perhaps change your perspective towards other issues around the country? Because like we were talking off camera, this puts a face to the stories that we have been seeing. Though we did not experience, we heard about it, but then it gave you a face to it.
Yes, one key thing this movie did was tell me, most times when we hear that people have gone missing, we start to say, oh, bring them back and all of that. And then what this movie exposed to me is, what about us? Reintegration. So for a lot of these people, when they come back, how do we treat them? Do we have enough to help them start to live normal lives again? So what is our responsibility when the government has done its best or anything to bring these girls or these boys back home? How do we respond? How do we treat them? Do we care for them?
Very important. Now, it has been, this movie is now being, penned down for perhaps the 93rd awards of the Oscars. I wonder how that makes you feel about this movie.
Well, it certainly makes
Did you see?
Well, we knew it was a possibility. Obviously, we shot in Hausa language, so we knew that it was eligible in that respect. But there's nothing automatic about it. You only try that. We try to inculcate excellence in every element of our production, from casting to the crew to the cameras we use. We shot on Arri Alexa using Cook lenses. That's equipment that Hollywood films use. For their films. So we try to inject and infuse international standards into every element of production. And once you've done that, you can only sit back and allow life to take its course in terms of what happens. But we were definitely very, very deliberate in the sense that we wanted our film to be able to play in any theater around the world without embarrassing our country.
So what was the feedback? I believe it has been released. What's the feedback that you're getting?
We've gotten very good feedback. We've had limited releases in Zimbabwe, in Cameroon, and also in Nigeria as well. But I think the film is just about to start its journey, particularly with this campaign for the Academy Awards.
So how far do you see it going, since it's just starting its journey?
The Academy Awards is extremely competitive. I mean, you're dealing with films from over 80 countries around the world, each of them very good films, each of them pushing and promoting their films. So we're hoping that Nigeria can get behind the Milkmaid in terms of resources, in terms of time, in terms of whatever is needed for us to mount a very high impact publicity campaign and lobbying campaign to bring the film to the attention of the Academy voters. So they're aware this is Nigeria's submission, these are the themes of the film, this is the story, this is what we're hoping to achieve, and then we leave it there and see what happens.
Absolutely. This is not your first work, as we found out. So perhaps what is next after this? Are you going to wait to see how the reception this gets and move from there? Because you said you were deliberate, intentional.
I mean, that's correct. I mean, I have a few projects which are already sort of on the back burner. But I need, obviously, to digest the Milkmaid and make sure that, giving it its full due before moving on to the next project. So I guess in a couple of months, we'll see where we are.
Absolutely, and we hope that it goes really far because it's just starting its journey. Now, let me come to you, Antonetta. This is your first work. So where do you see yourself in the next, perhaps 5 years with regards to Nollywood? Because you hear upcoming acts saying that they're having challenges breaking out because of the clique issues that we hear people talk about.
Yeah, so for me, I'm very optimistic because I played lead for the Milkmaid, and I'm hoping this gives me enough publicity to actually get me more roles. I want to be really involved in Nollywood, especially when it comes to telling important Nigerian African stories. So I believe I'll be auditioning for more roles. I hope more directors.
So it makes you be selective with your scripts if you want to tell authentic Nigerian stories.
Yes, because for me, I studied drama, and so it's not just about, you know, being a celebrity or a star. Acting is more important. That's what I was taught, that we're standards and we need to go out there and set standards, tell important stories and reflect society properly. And that's what I intend to do.
Interesting. Now, she mentioned something that I'd like to bring to you now, talking about setting standards. We see that this category had other movies that came out of Nigeria that had so much garnered so much acceptance, and Milkmaid is being deliberate and intentional, still using your words, is trying to set a standard. Now, maintaining that standard and ensuring that not just the movies, but the name that you are trying to create, Desmond Obiageli, is out there, and when it is mentioned, you know, it comes with standard. How do you intend to achieve that moving forward?
Well, I'm obviously hopeful that having received this selection, that will help, you know, in terms of people understanding who I am and the films I like to shoot. But you don't rest on your oars. There's a lot more that I have learned. I've learned a lot from the experience of making this film, and I intend, by the grace of God, to carry that through to my next project, and inshallah, one keeps on improving. And I think the thing is, as Nigerian filmmakers, it's good for us to be very honest with ourselves in terms of where we are quality-wise, and to take a cue from what's going on internationally and make sure that we get there. We can. We've seen it in the music industry where they're doing a great job, and increasing film industry. You know, so I guess the sense is that we keep on trying to improve ourselves and learning, and not assuming that we've already arrived. You know, because we have arrived here.
You have arrived here. Your last words, Antoinette? We'll go.
My last words would be, this is a very important movie, talking about really salient issues, and you should see it.
That is very key. Your last word, Desmond.
Well, we hope to do Nigeria proud with the Milkmaid. We call on every patriotic Nigerian and corporate institutions to please get in touch with us and get behind us, and let's try and